I was heartbroken, to be honest, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it just... Like, I wasn't adapting well at the time anyway. When I was off work, you know, it was... Things were shit then. And then, you know, you try and be positive, and there's that hope that you think, oh, it'll all be sound, it'll be back to normal.
Yeah.
And then it does just, like, not to sound dramatic, but it does change, you know, the rest of your life type thing, because all I knew at the time was rugby, playing sport and that, do you know what I mean? And there's everything that comes with rugby, like we said earlier.
Is, yeah.
And it was just like, it was hard to process that, to be honest.
Welcome to the Tackle Your Thoughts podcast, the podcast where we attempt to tackle the stigma surrounding mental health. So, without any more delay, here's the boys.
Welcome to the Tackle Your Thoughts podcast. We've been away for a while. Real life has taken over. But today we're going to do something different, Joe, aren't we?
Yep.
Yeah. So, in the past, we've had guests on, just told us a bit about their lives. But today we're going to tackle a bit of an issue that's been, well, I'm going to say, it's close to our hearts. It's affected me and Joe in both different ways. But today's topic is having to retire from sport, rugby, early, or being forced to retire, and what kind of impact it had in our lives. So, as you can see for people on YouTube or wherever, I'm sat here today with Joe. Welcome, Joe.
Hello. Nice to be back on.
Yeah, second time for you, Matt.
Yeah, we did touch upon this subject briefly last time.
We did, didn't we?
But yeah, it'd be nice to go into it a bit more.
Yeah, I think today we can just dive a bit deeper, can't we?
Yeah, it's an important subject.
It is. Not talk about all the shit about your life as well, but just this one part of it.
Yeah.
So let's just start off. So tell me a bit about your rugby career, sports career, and we'll go from there then, but.
Well, I got into rugby quite young. I think I was about 9, 10 when I joined Caerphilly. I always played football before that, but my size never really backed that career up. So I joined Caerphilly when I was 9 or 10, like I said. And then, yeah, it was all right, you know, played like for the district, stuff like that. And then went on to youth, and that's when I had to retire. As such, I didn't have like a professional career, but...
In my mind you were.
In my head I was the best, but and my mother used to say I was, but probably not. But it is important, because I think it's like people like me, when you're forced to retire, no matter what level you're playing at, it's an important subject, because it can affect people in different ways.
Oh, of course, yeah, because when I retired, my life was just rugby, really. So
yeah, that's all I knew at the time, really. It's like, it's a big part of your week, you know. You're training Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
Yeah.
You know, you're playing, and then it's your whole Saturday, because, you know, you're in the club afterwards and stuff.
Exactly.
Like, that side of it goes as well.
I'm guessing the majority of friends were through rugby as well, is it?
Yeah, the people I met through rugby is brilliant. Like, most of my closest friends are from rugby. And I think, you know, that's the best thing about rugby, in my opinion, or any sport you play, is the people you meet and the friendship groups you have through that.
Yeah.
It's just second to none, really.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, I'm 40 years old now, and I don't speak to anybody from school, and all my friends are from rugby.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I'm quite excited for. My son has just started playing rugby. He's what's he now? 8, 9, from 8 years. And he's starting to make friends outside of school. So he's making friends with football and with rugby. So it's amazing the effect that sport can have on you. But then, when you're forced to retire, what did it do to you? How did it... Tell me then, what happened? What forced you to retire? Was you ready to retire?
Well, it was my last but one youth game. We was playing for the district, and it was a semi-final down in Blackwood. And it was like the last minute of the game. Stupid accident, really. I pulled somebody off a ruck, and he fell on me and snapped my collarbone. And
sorry,
I
didn't mean to laugh.
So, no, it is that like simple and stupid, really. And
it's ridiculous though, because like you've probably been smashing people's ref.
Exactly. Like if I'd done it and like I put a big hit in, and I'd done it, you know, you can go out with a bit of pride. Like literally, I was someone's doormat. Like, and yeah, my collarbone snapped. I walked. I got up straight away. I tried not to cry. I didn't cry, but I want to point that out.
Yeah. And
then I walked off and went straight to Prince Charles, and they just done X-rays at, you know, the standard procedure really, and yeah, it was I snapped my clavicle bone in the middle, so there was like a 40 mil gap between what used to be one bone,
Good job.
So yeah, I didn't do it in half measures like, and then so I was off work for 3 months. I think it was my first year of my apprenticeship at the time, and so I was off work as an electrician. I was off work, obviously couldn't work. So
Yeah, that's what off work means, isn't it?
yeah, no, with the job I couldn't work. I meant, but yeah, just I think yeah, after 3 months then I was open to play again.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you just think it's a normal injury, though?
Yeah, I just thought, it's one of
Broken
the
arm
things you
type
just got to
thing.
ride it out.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was a nice being in the house. That affected me a bit, being in the house, all day. Just nothing you could do, really. You could go out for walks and stuff, but
Yeah,
it's
of
not
course,
the same,
yeah.
really. Like,
Yeah. So let me touch on that a little bit. So you obviously went through school, you was out the house every day.
yeah,
Then you started your apprenticeship, you was out the house all the time. In the evenings then you go and play rugby. And
Yeah.
then you snap your collarbone.
yeah,
and
and
then
my
you-
world just changed in a
Yeah.
way.
'Cause you,
Like, not to sound dramatic about it, but it did, like, when
Yeah.
you look back, because, I was working a few, 40, 50 hours a week or whatever, if you're doing
Yeah.
overtime and that.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, twice a week and a Saturday. That's 2 hours on a Tuesday, 2 hours on a Thursday.
Yeah.
It is all day Saturday if you're playing a game. Like,
course it is.
if you meet up with the boys for breakfast before the game or whatever, and then you're out with them afterwards.
Yeah.
It is, all day. And I think that was taken away from me, and you didn't think much of it at the time, but then as the weeks go by, then it does start affecting you. Like,
I bet. Yeah, so like you've gone from being out of the house constantly to just being locked up, really.
yeah, that's what it was. Like, yeah, just,
And like you said, all you could do really is go for walks. You can't do anything else.
yeah, you can't even like even, I know, something stupid like driving to the shop or driving to meet the boys. You can't do that. You got
No.
with that injury, like, you had one arm. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? So yeah, that was.
So during the time of the injury, then, let's not touch on having to retire yet. How did that make you feel, though?
I was gutted because it was at the time I was playing, some senior games, ready to make the jump up to seniors for Caerphilly.
Yeah.
And they were doing well at the time. I think it was a good time for them, really. So it was exciting project going on there, sort of thing. And
Of course, yeah.
I was looking forward to coming up as a youth player. Always played for them.
Yeah.
So I was looking forward to that. So that, I was gutted because I know it'd pushed that back a bit, and then it was always in my mind when I thought I could come back. It was always in my mind, like, what am I going to be a bit wary about my shoulder and that,
Yeah.
And
Especially being
the
a
last
prop.
thing you want is that in the back of mind when you're going into a tackle or whatever. But I didn't know at this point that there was no talk that I'd have to give it up. Like, I was 19 at the time. I thought, I got all these years ahead of me. Type
Yeah.
thing.
Just starting your rugby career, really.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that literally just ready to start my senior career, and yeah, that was just in the end taken away. Like,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. So then you had 3 months off work. Then I'm guessing it all repaired. Went back to work.
Well, it was. Could start after 12 weeks. I started going back. I went back to work, and then I started training again. But I wouldn't do contact. Like, I wanted to wait because I was waiting on like hospital appointments and that.
Yeah.
And then I kept going. Like, I think it was like once a month at the time. Around, it was like every month I had to go just for like a check, basically for the all clear when I could go back to contact.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember going the 1 month, and they said it's not really healing.
Yeah.
And then they just said I need an operation. So again, there was no talk. I had to retire.
Not even at
from
the
that.
time.
Not even at that time. I'd asked them, like, I can still play again though, but
Yeah.
and it was kind of like, yeah, you should be all right and all that. That's what that's all I'd have is you should be all right.
Yeah.
So like, it wasn't really like, and then obviously it was a bit of a I knew it was a bit of a possibility, but
It always is, isn't it?
yeah, it always, like, you have got to weigh up the options as well. Like, I wanted to play again, but so, some people are like, if that happens once and they have that time off work, if they go, I didn't have kids or nothing.
No, exactly.
If some people have kids, they're thinking, well, I can't afford,
Yeah,
it's not worth it. Like, do you know what I mean? Or they
Yeah.
got pills and how's it?
Well, I'll touch on that a little bit later on. That's what happened with me.
Yeah,
Young family and all that jazz. But yeah, we'll touch on that after.
In that way, I see that I was quite lucky. Like, I still had,
Yeah.
if I want, that's what I was thinking anyway at the time. Before I did get told,
Of course.
And then so they told me I needed an op. So that was then. It worked out about 10 months after the original injury. Then I had the op in the February. Then, so that was another 4 months off work. Then
Off work again.
yes,
Did you get sick pay? Or just statutory?
yeah, just statutory sick pay.
Yeah.
Like, so which is fair enough. Really, you can't expect them to
course
pay
not.
me like I've injured myself outside of work type thing. So
Exactly. So then after that op, and I'm pretty sure you had a plate in there or something like that, didn't you?
yeah, so I had a plate put across all the way from basically my top of my shoulder to my neck type thing, and that's when they said like after that, then they said it was kind of after the op. They said I couldn't play rugby again.
Yeah.
And I remember that day like I was
going to say, do you remember that conversation?
Yeah, it was. I was heartbroken, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it just like I wasn't adapting well at the time anyway. When I was off work, you know, it was things were shit.
Yeah.
Then, and then you know you try and be positive, and there's that hope that you think, oh, it'll all be sound, it'll be back to normal.
Yeah.
And then it does just like not to sound dramatic, but it does change, you know, the rest of your life type thing, because all I knew at the time was rugby.
Yeah.
Playing sport and that. Do you know what I mean? And there's everything that comes with rugby, like we said earlier.
Is, yeah.
And it was just like, it was hard to process that, to be honest.
So
I'm feeling sorry for myself a lot, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you're going to know.
Yeah,
you are.
It was...
Like, I wouldn't feel sorry for you, but you've got to feel sorry for yourself.
Yeah, I was like...
Yeah. But like...
To some people, it's not much, but like, to me at the time, it was everything.
Of course. How did they break that to you then? Was they just like, oh, sorry, you can't play rugby ever again?
Yeah, well, I had to ask them, like, because... And I asked them, and they said, oh, yeah, no contact sport no more. I was like, well, ever again? And they were like, yeah, they'll just go.
Cool. So I remember that a couple of years after you come back and had a go with Caerphilly again.
Yeah, after lockdown, I thought, you know, I'll try it after, like, and it was going all right. And then we done because we couldn't do contact because of the COVID rules or whatever, you know, all our bollocks, like.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I tried then again, and we played contact the one day. I remember waking up and I couldn't go to work, like my shoulder was just in bits, and I just thought if that's from training, it was meant to be smothered. There's no such thing, is it?
No.
We're all letting shit out each other, but yeah, and it was just like, and again that moment was shit again because it was like.
Is that a replay then?
That was the same emotions were coming back.
Yeah,
Because I was training for quite a bit, so I was training for a couple of months, like because we're in contact.
Yeah.
So I was getting back into the swing of seeing the boys, you know, just stuff like that, seeing them Tuesday, Thursday. Yeah. Do you know? And I think we were training on Saturday morning or whatever as well at the time. So it was like that you had that 3 days a week again, and there was that hope, you know, and you thought, oh, you know, this is...
It's like the end of the rainbow, or whatever it's called.
Yeah. And then, it just... And now was like, actually, the people that studied for years and went and done a degree, like, are actually right. Like, you know, you try and give it what do these doctors know, but
he was right for you.
They are right, funny enough. Like, so yeah, there was that side of it. Again, that was just reliving that moment, getting told you, and like just knowing and feeling it, like that's the reality it again, then type of thing. So,
the first time they told you couldn't play again, what went through your head? What's the first thing you thought of?
To be honest, I was just trying to process it. Like I didn't understand, like didn't really get it. Like why, you know? Surely I can. Like you know, you try and think like But and you just think overtime, seeing it, and that's exactly what I done then with trying to play again. Yeah. But it's just you don't really know what to say.
How did you deal with it then?
Not well. I'll be honest. There's people that happens to. Yeah. Like I did touch upon it on the podcast before. Like I just buried my head really with the wrong things. Yeah. Didn't try keeping fit and that. Yeah. Just like it's easy to go on the piss in it. Do you know what I mean? But unfortunately, like and that just makes it worse. In your head though, was you just going on the piss on a Saturday just to be around the boys and spend? Yeah, that was the thing. That was tick the box there. Because it turned that I was just working more. Yeah. Like on a Tuesday and I'd work after work. Yeah. Because I don't have rugby commitments. Exactly. On a Saturday I used to work half day before rugby. I'd just do a full Saturday. Yeah. Because it was easier. I couldn't go and watch. I hated going to watch. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's a kick in the nuts really, isn't it? Going to watch. It just before you know it just has a big effect on all the rest of your life as well. Like, and I know that sounds dramatic, but it is like that. Like, you don't realise how much a commitment to rugby was. You do make time for it. Of course you do. Whereas if you haven't got that, I'm one that doesn't make time for that. For anything else then, like, whereas I could have got, I'll go to the gym them nights instead. I wasn't one to do that. So I just work more. Just throw yourself into work, and then on a Saturday you just go and go on the piss with the boys. Yeah, just go on the piss then. Yeah. And then that gets past the point, for me it got past the point of being fun. Yeah. That did, like, do you know what I mean? It was... What, going on the piss? Yeah, it was more like... to bury my head in. I get you. So I'm guessing you knew deep down you go on a piss for
X amount of hours to bury your head.
Yeah.
But then
It's the easy way out, isn't it?
Course it
It's
is.
the option, like.
But would you do that again next week, even though you knew?
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. I'd go out on a Friday then because
Yeah,
I wouldn't give a fuck that they'd work in the morning.
yeah.
I cared if I had rugby. I wouldn't go out drinking
Of
Friday.
course you wouldn't, yeah, because you want to play well.
Because I want to play well.
Saturday,
but the matter just to turn up to work, like, do you know what I mean?
yeah, so then you go on a piss on a Friday, go to work on a Saturday, go on a piss on a Saturday night.
Yeah, and you just burn the can
Yeah.
at both ends then as well. And, like, I'm still guilty of that now, like, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say I'm a reformed character, like, and I still make my mistakes, like. But
is that because...
But that period of time trying to deal with that, like, I play football again now.
Good.
Which, like, only for a second team, like, but it's good to have that commitment again.
Yeah.
But to me, it'll just never be rugby.
No.
But nonetheless, it is good.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Is that ticking the box of team sports for you type of thing? You've been around the
'cause
boys, you're training.
Yeah, it is, and it isn't because if I get a job, I still choose that over. If I get like an orbital after work, I'll still choose that over training.
Why is that then? What do you think that is?
I don't know. It's just not rugby to me. Like,
Yeah.
And I've tried to fill that gap for a while. Like, played for different football teams and that. Like, I'm really enjoying it at the minute.
Good.
But again, it's just not quite rugby.
Yeah.
I've always been competitive. Always wanted to do well.
Yeah.
For a team and that. But rugby was different.
Of course it was.
Again with that, like, do you know what I mean?
It's the social life a little bit different with football and rugby.
To be honest, our team is good like that. You have to go back to the club and stuff. They try,
Yeah.
but the football has been. I know a lot of football clubs have been guilty for there's none of that. Like rugby, they try to make that one of the main things.
Yeah, they do. But again, that can work both ways, can't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I see.
Because like you were saying that you'd work Friday and Saturday and then go meet the boys after the game and just get slammed.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd
That's
probably
right.
get home Monday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But do you think that's the main reason is because of your injury and because that's how you've dealt with it?
Yeah, like I'll be honest, I know it sounds like I'm looking for an excuse and that did start kind of. I had my struggles, a bit with my mental health and that did that was, if you look back, and that was the starting point of it.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people could say that I don't think I'm the only person in them shoes. Like,
No.
I think and I was so young as well. Like, I think it was fair, but now I try to look at it in a more positive manner. Like, at least I had 19 years of playing rugby.
You did.
And that you have to look at it like that now because there's people who were born that could never have the chance to do that.
Exactly.
And it took me a while to realise. I felt sorry for myself for years over that. Do you know what I mean?
Was you the only person in the world who had to give up rugby at one point?
Yeah, oh, definitely, yeah. It was unfair.
Yeah, why me?
Yeah, exactly. It was just unfair, I thought. Like, I don't deserve this. Like,
Yeah. I think, especially what's going on around our area at the moment with some really sad news going on and everything, I don't think we realise how lucky we are.
Oh, exactly.
So, like you said, you played, well, maybe not 19 years since the day
No,
you were
but
born,
yeah,
right?
you know.
But, if you played since you were 10
Come
or
out the
9,
womb,
yeah, come out the
be
womb,
like,
smashing your mother, like.
Yeah, I had a good 9 years then, do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? And I was lucky, played with some great people, met even better people through it, do you know what I mean? And
But again, if you didn't play rugby, would you have your friends now?
no, exactly. That's
the one good
probably
side.
not.
It's the one good side. But I think if you did at 19, if you had enough of rugby and you went, I've had a guts full now, I'm going to retire.
Well, to be honest, I nearly quit when I was 16.
Did you?
Yeah, because I wasn't enjoying it, and then I played for the youth, played up for the youth. My mate Sam told me to come and play, like we were playing at Caerphilly at the same time, and he told me to. He was like, let's have a game from like
Yeah.
It was like towards the end of that season, and
Yeah.
I loved it. Fell in love with rugby all over again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And them youth years were the best years of my life.
And they always are in rugby, innit?
Yeah, I can't describe that enough, like, to people, like.
Yeah.
And I just think, like, do you know what gets to me, right, is seeing good players now, and they've stopped playing, and like they're like,
can't
I
be
can't be
bothered.
arsed, can't be arsed.
Yeah.
I know there's a day they'll regret that when they can't play. Like, it's their choice now.
course it is.
But then when they say 40 and
Yeah.
their body's battered and fuck, I'd love to play rugby today.
Of course you would.
I wish I played them extra 5 years. Wish I didn't retire at 26. Do you know what I mean? And
Oh, definitely.
I wish I could just get through to them to say, just go training or whatever. Just
Exactly.
like, I know if you fall, like, I get it why they would want to quit, but I think it's like you see like 27, 28-year-olds and that they don't have, realistically don't have many good years.
No, you don't, do
Like,
yeah.
you're not gonna, like, I think they'll regret that, me personally, because I've been on the other end of it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, if we think, say, for example, you start playing senior rugby at 19 years old, probably going to retire at 32, 33. So you've only really got 14 years. And
Yeah.
if you spend 8 years of that just bumming around saying I can't be arsed,
Yeah, and
you'll probably
you've got
play-
talent as well.
Yeah,
You know
exactly.
what I mean? And like, yeah, that's that from somebody who was taken away from, that
Yeah,
pisses me off. But
exactly.
but then I get it, everyone has their own life as well.
Of course they do.
Like, you know, not to knock anyone, but
Yeah.
like from experience, like make sure you're making the right decision type thing.
So are you saying just make the most of it?
Yeah, because you like they say, don't they, the cliche, play every game like it's your last or whatever,
yeah.
innit? Well,
Could be.
you
It
got
was.
to, you literally have to, because I went out there thinking, oh, we'll win this today, and
Yeah.
it was a semi-final, we'll be in the cup final next
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
I never got to play in that, do you know what I mean?
Exactly. But is that a lesson for life in general, though?
Yeah.
Make the most of everything? Cause
Yeah, and
like
that's
tomorrow. Could
I
be taken away
suppose
from
that's
you.
where it can teach you.
Yeah.
For anything really.
Of course
We're speaking rugby, but it's for any, like, you know, it's any sport, anything you do.
Yeah.
You know,
It is.
you've got to don't take it for granted. Like, I took it for granted. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
On the shit days, I'd be like, yeah, fuck rugby and all that.
Can't be arsed today, like.
I'd never say that again now. Do you know what I mean?
If you could turn back time now,
I wish I played more.
is it?
Yeah, on, you know, play through injuries or whatever.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Little
Little niggles.
and that. Yeah, you play through them.
Yeah.
Try to anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah.
It's a tough time, innit? So, like, I was completely opposite to you, really. So I was 32. The missus was pregnant. So let me trying to think back now. Yes. No, actually, no. We had just had our son. So it was 8 years ago, 8.5 years ago. So he was about 2 weeks old. I caught appendicitis. So I got rushed to hospital, had to have my appendix out. Just routine operation. So I thought, that's all right. Went in, say for example on a Tuesday, come out on a Wednesday, all fine. Rushed back into hospital on a Thursday because I caught E. coli in the bottom of my stomach. Which is like a deadly disease in your stomach at the time.
Yeah, I remember. It was
Oh, it was rife.
yeah,
it was
rife.
rife.
Yeah.
Caught it from a certain hospital because it was bogging in there. It was disgusting.
Name and shame and that.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. But the people in the hospital were amazing. It's just it wasn't the cleanest.
Yeah.
So yeah, I caught that. Spent like 10 days in hospital. And exactly the same as you. The doctors didn't say a word about not playing rugby ever again. Had to have another operation, cut me open, clean me up. And then the day I was leaving the hospital, I was like, what happened to me then? He's like, oh, you caught a deadly string of E. coli. So I was like, oh, what do you reckon? 3-4 weeks now back to rugby? And he's like, oh no, you won't play rugby again. I was like, shut up. Don't be ridiculous now. I said, I've only caught an infection, like.
Yeah, it's not very subtle, is it?
Exactly.
Either, like.
No. So then he was like, oh yeah, you can play rugby, but if you get tackled, right, it'll like block your colon or something like that, and then you'll have like a colostomy bag for the rest of your life. It's like, ugh.
So that's basically, yeah, you can't,
Yeah.
like, it's not worth, yeah.
It's not worth it, like. So then I had to go home and I'd explain to the missus that I'll never play rugby ever again, and she knew how much of a massive part of my life was.
Yeah.
And it generally felt as though somebody stole something from my life.
Yeah, that's
It's weird, like.
Yeah,
and like I
it's
think
a good way of putting it. Like, it is, they're taking it away from
took away from me, and I just didn't know how to deal with it. I think at the time I was quite lucky because my son was like 2 weeks old. I just threw myself into being a new dad, and exactly. So then after about 6 months, I remember the missus just looked at me. She goes, "You got to start coaching or something. 'Cause you do my head in the house."
Is that how you got into coaching it?
Well, yeah, now.
Did you always plan on?
Yeah, so about 20 years ago, I started doing my coaching qualifications when I did.
But like, didn't think you'd have to use it that early. Like.
No, exactly. When I was 40, I was going to become a coach.
Yeah, not really too. Like.
No, exactly. So I was doing the missus' head in the house just because I was just a bitch, really.
Yeah.
Like on a Tuesday night, I'd be in a mood because I knew the boys were training. On a Thursday night, I'd be in a mood, and on a Saturday, then she'd be like, "Let's go shopping." Like, off, I'm going shopping again.
Yeah.
I should be out there playing rugby.
How did you find watching it? Because I always struggle with that.
I never watched it.
Yeah.
Even down to the fact I didn't watch it on telly. Where when I was playing rugby, that's always on in the house. Is like Scrum 5, live matches or whatever.
Nothing to do with it at all. Like.
Nothing at all. I didn't want anything to do with rugby at all. Because, like I said, I thought I was the only person in the world again that wasn't able to play rugby.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's just a cheeky now. You stole rugby away from me, so I don't want anything to do with rugby ever again.
And there's no one you can blame, like, either.
Exactly. With that, I was like...
Like, I could blame that boy who fell on me, but...
Exactly.
You can't, you know, like...
That's the game, though, and that's the risk we take playing rugby.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I wouldn't even know who it is.
No, exactly.
I know it was a lump, like...
Was he?
But, yeah, he broke my collarbone.
He done a good job here. Done a good job. Yeah, so...
But yeah, I know what you mean. Like,
it was horrible. And I didn't know how to process it at the time. And I still don't know how to process it.
Did you palm it off? That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. And in my head, I always said, oh, give it a couple of months now, love. I'll go back playing rugby. And she'd be like, well, you want a bag for life, do you? I'm like, yeah, but he said that was a chance. It's only a chance. So, like, I kind of have a 50-50 chance.
Yeah, that's what happens. You think like that as well when you're missing him more. Like
Exactly, yeah.
That's why I tried again.
Yeah.
But but if that did go again, and I was sat at home for 4 months again, I'd be thinking...
You're probably self-employed at the time as well, so you wouldn't have had anything at all.
Well,
like,
I was... I was on the books, luckily, but it would have been that £89 a week or whatever it is. Like,
exactly. How can you live off that?
Yeah.
How can you live? So I was very, like I said, I was lucky because rugby got taken away from me. I threw myself into being a new father. Then I started coaching.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I coach now is to still be part of rugby.
Yeah.
I still get the Tuesday night with the boys, Thursday night with the boys, and the Saturday.
Yeah, and you have to be there.
To be there.
All of them, like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the main thing, I say, for that 6 months or whatever, I didn't do anything to do with rugby. The main thing I missed was the changing rooms.
Yeah.
Just the banter in the changing rooms.
Yeah,
like, whether it was a training night or a match, I just missed being in the changing rooms with the boys, taking the piss out of each other, celebrating, or even when you lose.
When you lose, yeah, because that brings more to togetherness as well. Like you're all feeling shit emotions, but you got each other. Like
exactly, you know you got each other's back.
And I think you only realise that when you play rugby or you lose a cup final or whatever.
It is.
It's you can't really.
It's games like that.
Like no matter what level you play at either. Like like your final is a World Cup final to you, and
of course it is 100%. Like, we'll never play in a World Cup final, but that final is
the
biggest final you ever play in.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, I know what you mean by that, but like people like you, fair play to you for going straight into coaching. Like that was something you wanted to do. That was something I never wanted to do.
Yeah.
But like people said to do it, everyone was saying, but I was like, it's not me.
No.
I'll be honest, I didn't know the game enough to coach it.
Yeah.
But like, I'd get by enough when I was playing it.
Of course
you know
you would,
what I mean?
yeah.
And I loved playing it. But like you said, you didn't watch rugby.
Didn't watch it.
I don't to this day. I don't like you go out for a Wales game. I don't watch it.
Just want to piss us off.
Yeah, like I obviously say I want Wales to win, but like
of course you do.
I couldn't tell you half the players I play from.
No.
You know what I mean? I don't like watching rugby. I struggle. All my mates still at Caerphilly. I struggle to watch Caerphilly. Like
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Because you want to be out there.
Yeah.
It probably watching that brings back the feelings.
Yeah, and like and you've got people
play.
Talking to you then about like when you used to play now. Which, don't you know, there's nice compliments or whatever, but
you're not helping me.
It's a bit of pill, like
you're not helping me at all. Like
yeah.
So for me now in coaching, it definitely ticks the box. But I'm still stood there some nights thinking, "Fuck me, I could still do this."
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I miss it so much. And I'm 40 now. If I could still play rugby, I would still be playing. 100% would.
Yeah.
I would. Because like you said, time is precious, and I didn't make the most of it at all.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, you feel like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like you had another 30
years
playing than me.
Oh, yeah, I had a good stretch. I had good innings playing rugby.
Yeah.
And if you think I was 32, I probably would have, as a
what age do you reckon you would have gone to?
I generally think I'd still be playing now.
Yeah,
I would. Well, except for my hips and I'm falling apart, and but if I didn't have a new hip, I'd be playing second team or something now.
Yeah,
I think.
That's
just because I loved the way he made me feel.
Yeah.
I loved, like I said, being around the boys and having
It's not just 80 minutes on a Saturday, was it? It was my week, like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Well, at least my Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, all day, like, you're in work looking forward to...
Well, the pinnacle of the week was a Saturday playing rugby.
Yeah.
And everything built towards that.
Yeah.
Everything. Even down to what I ate on a Friday night was all about the Saturday game, like.
Yeah. I still check a McDonald's, isn't
it was a kebab.
Kebab, pre-match kebab. But it was a prop I could get away with.
You could. But yeah, it's... I think that was my coping strategy, where I had to throw myself into something else.
Yeah.
So maybe, like what we said earlier, you just threw yourself into going out on a Saturday night.
Yeah, and that's what I didn't occupy my mind with good things.
No,
do you know what I mean?
No.
That was like I was going out on a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and that's no good. Like, do you know what I mean?
Well, if you think,
I still have a pint anyway, but
on a Thursday you train instead you went on a piss.
Yeah, and that's if you look at it like that, exactly what happened. It'd be pool night.
Yeah.
So I'd go out but like I'd say because that's the only time I was in the house all day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even seeing people, I used to like having chats with the boys in work and that.
Yeah.
I had none of that. Like it was me and my dog, and he didn't even like me.
Didn't he?
Do you know what I mean? So it was like, and and it was just easy then. It's comforting then when you're out on the pitch. It's just comforting.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? 'Cause you're not.
It's like comfort eating, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And like I always struggle up and down my weight and that. And like,
Yeah.
no, that was an hard thing as well. Like knowing that you just sat there because you eat. Well, I don't. When I was bored and that, you eat, don't you?
Of course you do.
Or do something like.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're doing that and going out on the piss, it's just, I don't know. I just started a very shit time period for me. That did like.
Yeah, like you said, you struggled with mental health in the past, and you think that was the start of it, really.
Yeah, I definitely say that was
it?
more. Yeah, you know, before that, life was good. Like life is good. Like I'm not saying.
Of course
that,
it is.
you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like it was. I was content with, you know, it was all going well. Like the rugby I was doing all right. You know, I think they won Players Player the season before. I won that season as well.
Yeah.
I won it. So
I felt sorry for you, that's why.
And yeah, I think that's what it was. I robbed that, to be honest. but yeah, it was going good. Like, and then, you know, that happened. But I just didn't face it either.
Didn't you?
I just buried my
your head.
Do you know what I mean?
So if you had your time again, and same thing's going to happen, so give you a scenario now, right? Going back in time, you're 19, you break your collarbone again, they tell you can't play, what would you do different now?
Well, I wouldn't have had the operation.
No?
Because there was no point.
Oh, okay.
Because it wasn't hurting or nothing.
Yeah.
You know, I could get by without that.
Right.
So I would have took away from that 4 months.
Yeah.
Because that was harder than the first 3.
I bet.
That was like.
Yeah.
But obviously I didn't know I could not play again.
So you had the operation just for a chance to play again, probably,
Yeah,
was it?
literally.
Yeah.
For that, like. And then they give me a third option as well, and saying...
Chop your arm off.
Well, I can have the plate removed, but it'll only be 70-80%. But you can try it.
But you still got that 20% chance of not trying and not being successful, and you've got to be off time off work.
Exactly. Where'd you go from here? Have the plate put back? I wouldn't have had the op. Like,
no.
The only reason I had that, because I thought, I can play rugby if I have that.
Of course, yeah.
But,
yeah. How about like going on your benders and...
Yeah, I wouldn't have left the house on the weekend. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Or, well, tried to just go and watch, like, but I didn't like that either.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I do it a lot differently, like.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it?
Because it started like even after, like, it weren't just the 3 months where I was in the sling, like, it was after that then.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? It just had, you got used to that then, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. For me, after my operation, not being able to play rugby, even when I started coaching again, that was probably the lowest part of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friggin'
Yeah, it hit me for 6, and I'm probably still not over it now. I still struggle with anxiety and my depression and things like that, and yeah, it probably same as you, ties back to that.
Like I still get them. Like, do you know what I mean?
I miss it so much sometimes. I'm thinking, especially because I'm coaching, I'm sat here thinking, fuck, I wouldn't have done that. I would have done this.
Yeah, and like the things as well, like the big days out. Like I think it was about 4 or 5 weeks after. It was the second week I could leave the house after my op, because the first weeks I just couldn't. You know, I was literally just like. Yeah. I know it's only the collarbone, but it was like my whole body would hurt.
Yeah,
if I tried to walk around. But I think it was 2 weeks after, so it was about 5 weeks after my op. And Caerphilly got to the play in the Millennium.
I remember that.
And that's the only thing I wanted to do was play in the Millennium, playing rugby. And I got absolutely bollocks that day.
Did you?
I was out for 2 days, do you know what I mean? Like, it was proper, like, stupid.
It's another podcast.
And
It's a separate one again.
That's another story for another day, Aris. But, I was happy, smiley, drinking. Inside, I was fucking heartbroken watching.
Yeah.
Like, I'm happy for my mates, but heartbroken that I went run out on our pitch, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where I was on. They were the good time. You know, Caerphilly were on the up then, and then they got the final in Millennium. And I remember, I was in my sling, like, smashing the pints into me.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things I've got to look back on. And I'm happy about. So I went to the stadium with St Geneth and we won in the stadium. So I'm really chuffed I got to experience that.
Yeah.
And that was like 4 years before, maybe 5 years before I retired.
Yeah.
So looking back now, I've been really lucky. I never really broke a massive bone in my body or anything like that.
You've done...
So I dodged a couple of bullets really, and I got to experience some good things, but I still feel as though I got robbed of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah, maybe another Millennium visit.
Exactly, yeah.
And I bet it'd be good as a coach, but I bet it wouldn't be the same.
Yeah, like we was very close again at the stadium this year with Caerphilly, kind of coach Caerphilly now. It would have been interesting. It wouldn't have been the same.
Yeah, it's
completely different. But
don't get me wrong, proud moment.
Oh, massive! Yeah, I'd be really proud to get to the stadium as a coach. But flip side, I'll never forget the time I played in the stadium and we won the stadium. So I'm glad I experienced
You
that.
talk about that before you talk about
100%.
coaching it. Do you know what I mean? You know, that's
I
the
would.
way I'd look at it.
Definitely.
And that's what was the hardest thing
Yeah.
to take, was that.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, like 4 weeks later I could have been here. Do you know what I mean? It was literally like not long after I'd done it, like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But again, you felt as if that got robbed from you. But,
Yeah.
but same as you, I was looking for people to blame all the way through it. There's nobody to blame. Shit happens in
No, yeah,
life.
you can't blame anyone. Like.
No, shit happens in life, and it's how we deal with it. And like, I don't even know if I would deal with it in a different way now. I don't know how I could.
Yeah.
Like I said, I threw myself into being a father, into being a husband, and then being a coach.
Yeah.
Like, what else could I do?
Yeah, you done the best. Like, you threw yourself at good things.
Yeah, I did.
Like, that's where I went wrong. I threw at the shit things.
Yeah, but even though you might have thrown yourself at shit things, I still felt the same as you, mind.
Yeah, exactly.
I had some really dark times, like I said on the previous podcast, went to some dark places, like.
Yeah.
And
I can imagine.
It's all because of that, like, and yeah, rugby was my life. It was, and I'm lucky now because, like I said, I'm back into coaching. So that kind of ticks a box, but it'll never be the same, will it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't, like, and I know that's why I'm never going to, because I know,
Yeah.
and if your heart's not in something,
Don't do it.
point doing is, do you know what I mean?
Do you ever think, like, what if? What if
Oh,
that didn't happen?
every day.
Do you?
I used to have, like, a lot of what if thoughts,
Did you?
like, what could have been, you know, who could I have played with or played for, do you know what I mean? Not saying it was brilliant, like,
No.
but it's the thing of you'll never know,
Yeah.
either, and I just feel like I was robbed of that.
Yeah.
That's the best word to sum it up, robbed.
It is.
It's
It is.
stolen from you, taken away, like.
It is.
And even though it's only a sport, like, to some people, they think, but, like, it's not when it's all you've known for, like.
No, it's life, isn't it?
Exactly, like, for 9 years, that's all
That's all
you've
you know.
known. Like, you program, you know, Tuesday, Thursday, I got rugby.
I liked the pattern I did. So on a Tuesday and Thursday night, I knew I was out of the house.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
Monday night. Oh, I knew it. Staying
You know
in
something
tonight.
productive, and just seeing your mates. Like, if you're on a shit day,
Yeah.
like, they are your mates as well.
Yeah. And that's
Like,
why,
they
like,
can cheer you up. Like, you know, they'll take a piss out of you, but
yeah.
it's all.
That's
It's
why I
all
love
love, innit?
That's why I loved about the change rooms. You walk in a mood and somebody just rip fuck into you.
And you laugh.
You're
Like,
laughing. And it's never anything personal. It's all in love and jest type of thing. And that's what I missed.
yeah.
And I think maybe, like, going forward, like, we had that rugby game last year, Attack Your Thoughts. I think that helped a lot of people because it was, like, a lot of over 40s who haven't played rugby for, like, 10 years. Reliving it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I was, people nagging me to play now. Like,
Yeah.
it is literally not worth, like,
Nah,
if,
it's not about
if it went,
Yeah.
for that 20 minutes of rugby, I'm off work again, and I'm
Exactly.
going into that spiral worse now,
Course you are.
because I've already been in that spiral for years.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But, like, I played in that game and I knew I needed a hip replacement and that was what finished me off, really. That game.
yeah, you
So-
because you played in that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Before,
Before my hip replacement.
because
Yeah.
you knew you was. I remember you saying to me, "Off, fuck it, it's got to be."
It's got to be, my hip had to be replaced anyway, so I just fucking break
Yeah,
it.
you may just.
But in my head, I didn't think about my stomach. If I got tackled.
Yeah,
I'd
that's
have
the
a-
thing. Now when you weren't retired from it, yeah, fucking hell.
So I didn't even think about that. And now I'm thinking back, thinking, what a fucking dickhead.
Imagine how different that could have been. Like,
Exactly.
you could take that as a what if.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
It's lucky I don't like contact. So
Too slow to get
too
here.
slow. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Sorry, Clevo made a fucking career out of that.
But do you know what? Like, we talk about this. What if? If it didn't happen, then you wouldn't have met your friends in football. You wouldn't have had to go being a footballer. Type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's you're gonna look at it like that, but
Yeah.
I'd give that up.
You would have.
I'd give that up definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
to be playing rugby now. Like I'll openly admit that as much, and I love playing football. I'm just like I'm not the right build for it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I didn't know, but
point out the elephant in the room. No, yeah, it's like I do love football, but it's not the same to me personally. Like
No.
it doesn't. Like yesterday, for example, I had too much to do in work, so I missed a football game for work. I never do that for rugby.
no.
Never in
No.
a million years. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so.
Do you think you've learned any kind of lessons from this? From being injured, something being taken away from you? Something you take...
Yeah, to not bury your head.
Yeah?
Really, yeah. I think that's like you did. I know you were still having them feelings, but
Yeah.
I
stay
was
productive.
boosting them emotions by going out on a piss and that.
Of course you was.
And whatever comes with it, do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. Like, part of it is nice that you still went on the piss with the boys. Because
Yeah,
you
like-
could have locked yourself away, couldn't you? And gone,
Yeah,
"Fuck this."
if that would have been all right.
Yeah.
And it was at first it was all right. But then it was like, you know, fucking at first, you probably look back, say, it was nice to have 2 weeks off work, but then when it's in the third week and you're still injured and...
Getting pissed
you know
off.
what I mean? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not... That's when it starts, like, the reality of it. And then it's just, like, trying to get back into things as well, like, do you know what I mean? Like, when I was back in work again, it's like, what could I do? Like, you're limited to what you can actually do.
I get you.
So...
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, it didn't...
It's quite sad, really, innit? Because, like, that was what our life was about, was the rugby.
Yeah.
And I thought I was the only person in the world going through that. But I wonder how many people have been forced to retire from rugby.
Yeah,
Or
and then-
sport. And how have they dealt with it. I don't think we speak about it enough.
Yeah, it's not like thing, is it? I don't think. Like,
Yeah, it's not a big topic. And I think,
and all people say is when you're back.
yeah,
Like,
fucking
that's
not.
why I was getting a lot of, when you're going to give it another go, and you...
Yeah.
It's like, I can't, like, it's medically can't, like, you know,
That
and you
doctor
just
was
make
right.
a laugh of it or whatever, don't know. But
Yeah, of course you do.
like, deep down, it affects people.
does.
Like, and I imagine there's thousands of people out there like me and you if
Gotta
we
be.
spoke to them, like.
Got to be. But like we said, we're lucky we could play rugby and nothing's
Exactly,
that
and
serious
that is the way I look at it now.
Yeah.
I'm glad I had the opportunity
Yeah.
to meet the people I did
Yeah.
and play it for 9 years, not 19.
19. But yeah, I'm glad we've gone there today, because I don't think, like I said, I don't think enough people talk about it. People don't talk about mental health enough in general, anyway.
Yeah.
Never mind specific topics like this.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Hopefully, this could hopefully
Yeah.
make someone think. Well, I was going. That's what I done.
Exactly.
I went on the piss, so I go into coaching. Hopefully,
Yeah.
it will make people think. Like,
But also, flip side, it'd be nice if some teammates if they know somebody's had to retire because of an injury or something. It'd be nice for them to reach out and go, "Hey, mate,
yeah,
you okay? Do you want to come and see us?"
yeah, and like, because it is hard. Like, I suppose you don't. I don't really know anyone that had to do it while I was playing with them. But like, yeah, you'd love that, wouldn't you? Like, I bet
Love
you
it.
would have loved it if people
Just touch
understood.
base, like.
But they don't get it because they can still play.
Exactly
Do
that.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't understand, which
Yeah.
is like, I think that's important as well, and to like put yourself in other people's shoes as well, and
100%.
that's why I do now, to think that I'm lucky about rugby.
Yeah,
I got to
yeah.
play.
Yeah.
That because you're putting yourself in someone else's shoes.
That's true. You are right there, but you are. So maybe the message from this podcast is, if you know somebody who's been forced to retire from rugby or
Yeah.
sport, it doesn't be rugby. Our background.
Yeah, we're talking
Could be
rugby.
badminton, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Whatever. Just reach out and just make sure they're okay. Because I don't think, as sports people, we do that enough, do we?
No,
Like-
you don't think about the after.
The aftermath.
Like, you see so many professionals, like, when they have to retire because of age or whatever, not because
Yeah.
of an injury, like, a lot
Yeah.
a lot of them don't know how to cope with it. Do you know
No.
what I mean? Like,
Like,
like, I know it's a cliche one, but Paul Gascoigne, like,
exactly, yeah.
look at him in football, he didn't cope with
Not at all.
not playing football well, but that goes down to every level.
It
Do
does.
you know what I mean?
Like,
Like, I probably went more like him off the pitch
True.
after retirement. Like,
yeah.
I'm not, I wouldn't act like.
No, of course not. You know, we're
Do
near
you know
that.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I often think this. In rugby, you've got the academies, haven't you? The under 18 academies. Excuse me, boys. Do you know the kids who don't make the cut then into the under 20s academy? How do they deal with that? And
Yeah,
what kind of support do the academies put in place to look after those kids? Because I think they just go, sorry, but you're not good enough. Get out.
yeah, I doubt they text them after
No.
or keep in touch. Do they? They don't want them at the time. And back your club can deal with that.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, yeah, I bet that there's a lot of people out there who suffer
Gotta be.
that.
But if they get 17 and 18, they're thinking, I'm going to be a professional rugby player. That's all I'm going to play for Wales. One.
Yeah, and if they invest or football, like
Yeah.
well, you see a lot with football. Don't
Yeah,
you? Like
yeah, or being cut.
they invest their whole life into that, and like
Yeah,
only a few make that.
exactly.
Make-
I'd be interested to see what the percentage is.
yeah,
But like, what do clubs then put in place to say, oh, sorry, but I'm cutting you and never want to see you again type of thing? That's what it is.
yeah.
Where
Yeah,
it should be an
that-
ongoing support system.
They've probably turned down other career choices for that as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, 'cause it's people's dreams. Like,
Yeah, it is. No, you throw everything into it.
Imagine getting paid to do what you love. Like, do you know what I mean?
Living a dream.
Like-
But then, again, somebody's robbed that from you. And like, that's going to cause them to go into a downward spiral.
Yeah,
and they just go, I don't really care about you now. You know,
Yeah,
enough.
I can't imagine they're checking in on them. Like,
No.
hopefully they are. Like, hopefully, or hopefully they are doing more things about it.
I know the rugby academies are not doing enough.
Yeah,
They literally, sorry, but you're not good enough, off you go. Go back to your club and let the club deal with it. So that's disappointing.
Yeah, that's not good to you, is it? Because
It's not, especially at that young age.
yeah,
But again, I'm guessing that every sport's the same because they're just after the elite. They're after the best of the best of the best.
yeah, It's a money-making thing for him, innit?
That's what it is. That's what it is. So yeah, that's our little bit of wisdom going forward now to the
Yeah.
professional team.
Yeah.
Look after your players. Don't be dicks.
And ask twice.
So ask twice. I like that, Joe.
Always ask twice.
So Joe, I want to finish off with something a little bit random, a little bit of
Here we go.
fun.
Here we go.
We're gonna have a minute on the clock, right?
Right.
I'm gonna ask you as many questions as possible. You can only give me the wrong answer.
Right.
Okay? We'll keep tally, and then we'll keep a league table. See who does the best.
Right, oh, so
Okay?
let's have it
Right.
then.
So what's the rules?
I gotta give wrong answers only. But that was the right answer.
That was exactly
That was right.
that's 1 point off. That is. Yeah. So just a minute. Be a minute on the clock. I'll ask you the question. Give me the wrong answer. It's no maths or anything like that. So don't panic.
Alright, yeah. Like you could say I'd be good at that. I'd be definitely be fucking wrong.
Nothing about electrics or anything like that either. So
I'd be wrong.
ready, Ian?
Yeah, go.
Hang on. What's your name?
Nick.
What noise does a cow make?
Quack.
What did Humpty Dumpty fall off?
A stool.
Complete the film Snow White and the Seven.
Lanky men.
What does Bonjour mean?
Goodbye.
Who's the Prime Minister?
Boris Johnson.
Name a vegetable.
Tomato. It's a fruit.
It's a fruit. It's a fruit, and I can do that. Spell the word cat.
TAC.
Cat. What does LOL stand for?
Love. Outside love.
Name an Olympic sport. Come on.
Football. Oh no, they play football. Oh fuck. I don't know. I don't know.
You can't say pass. You can't say pass.
Pass.
Washing dishes.
I
Okay.
don't know.
It's a tough one, that, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
It's a tough one. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 in a minute. It's not bad, but we'll give that. Especially music the first one going on it. Yeah, so next time we'll try the next guest. I think Di's coming in a couple of weeks to talk about parenting. Nick's going to come on and talk about toxic bosses. We'll do it with everybody. Yeah. Any other pearls of wisdom you got for our listeners?
Nah.
Nah.
No, I don't like.
No, that's disappointing.
Well, I taught you that fucking tomato was a fruit.
I think I knew that.
Wisdom is knowing not to put it on a fruit salad, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Brian O'Driscoll said that, not me. But
Is that,
yeah, can't take credit for that.
that's the reference to rugby. Anyway, Joe, thank you, that was
Thanks for having me.
yeah,
Again.
it was a difficult subject for us both to speak
Yeah.
about, but I think, like I said, it needs to be talked about more.
Yes. I'm sorry to hear that you went through it as well.
It is what it is, but that's what builds us, really, isn't it? It makes us a stronger character at the end of the day. And would I have done anything different? Who knows?
Yeah,
No.
we can't think like that, can we? Cause
Just enjoy life.
we'll
and
never have the chance, will we?
Exactly. I mean, we don't know what's around the corner. Like you said, we experienced it and move on.
Thankful for that.
Exactly. Right. Thanks, my friend.
Pleasure as always.
Right. See you soon. Good man.
Ta.
Thanks, Bert.